Well, for the second straight year, the Catholic schools Shanley and Bishop Ryan claim the crowns in North Dakota girls basketball.
Yeah, and there are a number of teams that will have a chance to dethrone those champs, and we're going to take a look at some of those right now.
Yeah, let's start in Class A, where Shanley returns a couple of key pieces from their latest championship team.
We're a different team in the sense that we lost 4 seniors last year, and 3 of them started for us, and we lost some real talent there when they stepped out. So it's going to take us a while to replace those 3 starters, but we know that we've got kids that are eager to take those places, and we've got to develop ourselves a bench that feels confident and can step in and know that they are making the contributions that will make us better.
We're a different group of girls, some girls who haven't had as much varsity experience as our group did last year, but there's a lot of girls who worked hard in the off season and improved their game, and I think we're going to have a good season.
We have very good teamwork. We work well, and we can tell what the next person is doing a step ahead, and we have a lot of heart. We all want to be here. We all want to play our best.
All right, Jason, well, with Sarah Jacobson and Laura Rotunda back in the mix for the Deacons, no real surprise that we see Shanley at the top of your preseason top 5.
2 of the best players in the state, hands down, and they have gotten better. So, yeah, that should scare some people. But they have a lot of other holes to fill in that roster. You know, they kind of had the same thing last season where they had to replace a lot of people after a championship season. They seem to do that just fine. So I think they'll be able to plug those holes in this year, too.
Number 2, you got Bismarck Century. No bona fide scorer for this team, but a lot of good players.
Yeah, the talent on this squad, you know, from 1 to 10 might be the best in this entire class. I think you're going to see Reagan Dennis and Jenna Fitterer kind of step up into that role of being one of those top scorers in the state.
West Fargo, Turtle Mountain, Fargo South, all part of that early season top 5, which certainly is going to change throughout the year. But I think Shanley, Century probably going to be in the mix all along.
I think those 2 are the favorites, but I wouldn't be surprised to see West Fargo make a run. Their top player, Akili Moten, is back. Their rebounder and point scorer. She was hurt a little bit last season, so having her healthy this year will really help. And then Turtle Mountain, a lot of players back on that team too.
Okay, well, in Class B, Bishop Ryan's going to attempt to reload after 3 straight state titles. The good news for the Lions is they're not exactly going to be starting from scratch. Julie Stewart's team still has some solid players in place. They also have some hungry newcomers that have been anxiously awaiting their opportunity. With that in mind, Jaddy, where does Bishop Ryan rank in your top 5, or do they rank in your top 5?
This is a team that probably deserves the benefit of the doubt. I just don't think they have quite enough back. Cheyenne Schmidt is back, but they don't make my early season top 5. I think they've got a few more miles to put on before they can get into this top 5. They may make an appearance this year, but already an early season loss to Thompson kind of shows how strong the rest of this Class B group is, and they do have some contenders to deal with, especially Watford City, a team with only 2 losses last year that features Katie Mogan at the top of this lineup. A very strong team, and then you see the rest of those teams. Any one of those 4 teams really could make a championship run this year, and in particular, I think Dickinson Trinity, a team that really caught fire going into state and being able to return all 5 starters.
And with Bishop Ryan being as dominant as they have been for such a long time, it's almost tough to wrap your head around the idea of them not even being in the conversation, at least early in the season.
Yeah, it is, and I do think they'll be a good team, just not the type of team that just walks through the schedule without a loss.
All right, well, stay tuned on that. Sioux Falls, Washington settled for 2nd last season, so is this the year the Warrior boys finally end their championship drought? Our thoughts on them and some of the other AA frontrunners in South Dakota coming up next.
Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by Mitchell Technical Institute, Shields, and Farmers Union Insurance Agency.